So today, now, after all of that, of course, now all my ideas are coming. I am full of ideas, full of all kinds of stuff. But what I really need to do is take care of my house. If you see, I look a little bit tired here. I'm not sleeping as much because my brain is going with loads of stuff. I understood yesterday that I am not somebody who enjoys emotion all that much, which is really, really funny. I'm gonna highlight it this way. Imagine Imagine you're a nurse or a surgeon who doesn't like blood. Now imagine that. Now, that's how it is for me as a therapist. I don't really like emotions all that much. I just want to move through it. I want to go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on because we need to get to the part where it's a learning experience and we need to find a solution and find an idea that will help you and keep going. And I think that doesn't always go together with people, especially when you're not aware of it, right? So I wasn't aware that I was a bit of an emotion phobe, and it's just because I find it overwhelming. It's a bit too much sometimes, and people go on and on and on about their feelings, and they always want to make an emotional connection with me, and I'm like, well, can we not just connect by doing something fun? And then when I was a teenager, of course, I was the queen of fun. I had the best ideas. We used to do the best stuff. If you ask a lot of my girlfriends, they'll tell you that we used to get into a lot of trouble because I have really fun ideas. But then it was like you get to a stage where you're a grown up, you need to grow up and be. And so I became a lot like a lot of the other people in my life, especially my mother, and wanting to make an emotional connection with people. And I tried that. I just am not as good as people who make emotion in connection to people. I'm good at it, but that gets to a point where I get up to here and then I snap, and then I either get angry, so I push them away, or I walk away myself, or I just get so overwhelmed, and I can do it, but it's not my way. It drains me. Too much emotion drains me, and then I have to do something fun. And it's the funniest thing is that when I was a young adult, I used to always carry a bouncy ball with me, or something shiny, or my bag was always fun, or I used to wear amazingly fun shoes, right? And I stopped doing that because I had to grow up. I don't know who told me I had to grow up. It wasn't my parents, and well, it definitely wasn't my husband. So I used to always have something fun with me, and now I realize why. And this weekend I was in the shopping mall and with my mother-in-law, and she's very emotionally connected, right? She likes to have emotional conversations about emotionally motivating subjects, like about the vluchtelingen. How do you call that? The Syrians going into Europe. Anyway, so it's always got to be an emotional connection, emotional conversations, and I found it very draining. And she's really fun to shop with. The woman is just like, she's off. So much fun, but the conversation was very draining to me, so I just popped her into a shop and I put on my headphones and I found some really fun music on my iPhone, and I now realize I need to put more fun music on my phone because I need the fun, and because that gives me energy again, it bounces me up again. And so that's something that I've really paid attention to, is that emotional conversations, I get to a point where I'm done, I'm really done, but my strength is that I'm very honest. And I've noticed that some people get too emotional about being as honest as I am, whereas I think it's just, let's be honest, because then we can move on, you know? Just say it as it is, then you know, and then we can move on. And so that's my strength in it all. So I can bring that to the table. But when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I did it in a little bit of an abrasive way, and it was just like, I think practice makes perfect. So for me today is that I need to connect with some fun. I need to do something that, like, I'm getting fun ideas. I'm thinking about the winter fair for my kids' school, about games that I can play with the kids, and I need to move on. I can't just sit in this moment, because if I sit in this moment, I'm going to get very tired, and then I'm going to eat heavy food, which pulls me down, and I'm going to not exercise. Whereas now I'm full of energy. I'm going to go out to the punch bag and I'm going to go punching, and I'm going to tidy up, and I'm going to make sure that I go to bed on time tonight because I really need to do that. So that's another part of taking care of your health, you know, right? Just taking care of your emotional well-being. If you're somebody who gets really emotional about things and you need that, Make sure you connect emotionally with things. Make sure that you surround yourself with comfortable, emotional objects that just take care of your heart. And if you're someone like me and you need fun, make sure that you bring as much fun into your life because it's part of your health. It really brings about a healthier well-being, and that makes it easier to take care of your health. It makes it easier to do your exercising. It makes it easier to eat right. Like if I cut my sandwiches, if I have to eat a sandwich in order to stop myself from getting hungry and therefore later eating chocolate, it's like I'm going to cut those sandwiches in shapes that make me feel funny, that I think is funny. I'm going to do something that's funny. Whereas for you, you might make something that reminds you of your parents, that your mama took care of you and she would, and makes you connect to it in an emotional way. And if you're someone who's like, right, we're going to get this done, then you write yourself a list of all the things you need to do today, of all the exercises you need to do, and you go ahead and you tick them off. And if you're somebody who needs to make sure that you sit still and you perfect it, make sure that you give yourself the time. Give yourself the time to just sit still and make a plan or perfect the way you're going to live your life. Don't rush yourself. Do not rush yourself. That's what I need to rush. But say, for argument's sake, there's another part of me that needs to still sit still and to deepen into something. If you notice it, when I'm talking about stuff, I'm very bubbly, and then all of a sudden I'll get stuck on a subject and I will talk and talk and talk about it. That's because another part of me is very much like the earth, unmoving. But there are some people who are like that in their primary nature, where they just need to sit still on something and really work it out. And if you're like that, give yourself the time. And I think that is part of our health, that we honor our nature, who we are. We don't try to be like somebody else. Like, I'm very fun-loving. Don't need to be like me, because if you're somebody who's very task-orientated, set yourself up a task list, Like my son, he gave himself a little task and he went ahead. Well, it wasn't little. He gave himself a task and he went out there and he got it. So really honor your nature, because it will help your health. It really will. Honoring who you are will improve your health. So there you go. That's my message for today. And I'm actually very tired, and I am slightly caffeinated, and I have had my breakfast. But this is enthusiasm. This is real joy to pass on this message to you, because I really, really love your journey and it means a lot to me. I know not a lot of people are interacting with the group at the minute, and I totally understand that, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna back off. I'm still gonna make sure that you all hear this message. You matter to me, and I care about you, and I can connect with you on an emotional level, but I do also need to make it fun. So much love.